Today we're going to be installing the Bunker Industry 270-degree awning on our 2024 Passport. One of the questions I had going into this video was, how does a 270-degree awning that opens behind the car interact with the tailgate? So we're going to go over that in this video, but we're also going to teach you how to install this type of awning on a standard aerodynamic roof bar, crossbar. We have Yakima roof bars, but this will work for Thule and other types of crossbars as well. We contacted various awning companies to see if any of them would be interested in sponsoring this build. Part of the reason for that was I didn't even know if a 270-degree awning would work for a car like our Passport because of the tailgate, like I said. Bunker Industry responded back and they sent us this product to review. And today we're gonna use it to kind of show you how to install it. Later, we'll do a follow-up video with how it's doing. So zooming in here, we've already opened the box for the awning. It comes with these T-slots. So if your crossbars are T-slot compatible, you can actually just put them in T-slots on your crossbar, and you can use the brackets that it came with to just mount it straight to it. Fortunately for me, my crossbars are not T-slot compatible, and I already own my crossbars. So that gets us to the beginning of this video, which is how does the Bunker Industry bracket match up with the Yakima crossbars here. So to make this build work, I went on the market to find some U-bolts to start with. This kit right here that you see, it didn't come with this, but it came with these top plates and these steel coated and custom formed U-bolts. This is just a standard roof box U-bolt set that you can find on Amazon. I'll have it linked in my Amazon store in the description below. And this whole kit right here, I believe, was $15. So it's a very good value. If you go locally to try to find U-bolts and whatnot, you're gonna spend more money. It's not perfect, you know. I think it's a little odd to have this, whatever you call it, you know, but these little prongs on the end. I may cut them off at some point, but I haven't yet. But it still is a really good step to get you in the right direction. Now, what you'll notice about these brackets here is that I've actually notched them. That's the custom part. So let's go over to the crossbar. We'll talk about what you have to do to get that started first. All right, so as you can see over here, we have our core bars adjusted for this setup. So they stick out further on the outside. This is the side that the awning won't be on. And on this side, I've lined them up very carefully so that the U-bolt can fit right here between the end cap and the tower. So you're gonna wanna consider gluing these end caps on just for safe measures so they don't come off. But the idea is that you want the awning as close to the vehicle as possible for many reasons, but for one, you don't want rain going between the awning and the car. Now, with the Bunker Industry bag that's on top of it, when you open it up and invert it upside down, it helps cover that gap. Once you have your crossbars set up right, what you're gonna wanna do is notch the back side of these brackets with a grinder or a Dremel tool. You want them, can you put that, slide it on?
Like this?
Yeah. So you want your back side of the bracket to be able to accept this U-bolt. The cool thing about having to notch it, which it'd be convenient, Bunker Industries actually taken some feedback from me. They may be able to start notching these to make them more compatible. And I'll send them the final setup. You can see I've been experimenting here, and I actually have to still grind a little bit more notches. But what I've learned is this. You notch the back, and once you've notched the back just in the same spot on both sides and enough so that it can slide over, what you can do is move your bracket up onto the car, and you can figure out where this next notch needs to be. I've experimented on some different setups. I actually had a custom spacer and some different things I 3D printed, but I've gone back to, I think it's best to lay the bracket directly on the crossbar and that helps with aerodynamics. It gives it the lowest wind profile. So we're gonna go over to the car now, and I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about with using this U-bolt to fasten it down. We're gonna figure out where this next notch needs to be, and we're gonna make it. So we've got our bracket up here on the car, and you can see that there's this bend right here. And you want the bend to be kind of butted up against the end cap. And the back notch, you can just put them without thinking too much. You can just have them be back here because they don't interact with the tower. But this notch right here has to be a little bit more precise. So if we move the U-bolt up and kind of figure out where it needs to be, I can tell that this bracket needs to be notched back probably about a 1/4 inch. So we're gonna do that now. All right, so just looking at this again, if I were to start over, I would say that the notch in the front, the one towards the bend, it needs to start at the bottom of this this hole, and it needs to go probably to at least right here. So that would probably be a good scope. And then do that on this side. And you can kind of see how far I've notched these in. That's about how far. If I were to do the back over again, just to make it good and consistent, I'd probably start like where the flat begins on this, and then where the flat begins on this, and then just notch in about that far. So one thing I learned about grinding is you want to keep that dust off your car and off of anything that you care about, because it creates little dust deposits. We actually need to get some off of our Passport because I ground a little bit too quick or close last time. All right, so we're getting a fresh coat of paint on it. Try to hold back on a little bit of that corrosion. Maybe let me know in the comments below what your favorite rust preventative paint is. This is just lacquer. I know it's not going to hold back the rust too much, but if you tell me a good product, I'm looking to spray paint our new trail swing and you know, little odds and ends like this. So let me know if you know a good product for holding back corrosion. Okay. So we're going to slide in these T-slots and get the brackets ready to go on, so we can get them set to the right distance for our crossbars. So you just slide them in, get 4 kind of positioned, make sure that you've got your awning oriented appropriately. The zipper right here is the bottom, so then you just slide them on. And it's got 4 washers, 4 lock nuts per side. They are 1/2 inch nuts. I have a 1/2 inch socket, but I don't have a 1/2 inch wrench, so I'm using a 13 mil, which is close enough. You can't really get to these bottom ones that are closest to the bend with the socket. Now I'm gonna slide this over to the approximate position. I already had this up once, so I have some pencil marks, so I know where they go. But my advice to you is that you will want to measure right here on your crossbars halfway on each one. For me, that's about 31.5, just a little over that. Then you can mark out where 31.5 is, which is, you know, right about right here to right here, just like I have already kind of penciled in. So the back will be 24.5 inches from the back to where the bracket begins. The back is really important because of how it interacts with the spoiler on top of the hatch. Slide these in. And I'm gonna show you a method to get this up on the roof without anyone helping you. I've been doing it. I've actually taken this up and down probably 4 times now, and with the technique I've been using, I can do it all by myself.
Life is all about technique.
Yeah, technique's important.
Yeah.
Strategy. All right. So once you get your nuts on and your brackets, you don't have pencil marks like me, so you'll just make your measurement from halfway on this bracket to halfway on this bracket, and that'll get you probably right on spec for lining up to your crossbars, which is where you want to be. While I'm getting these nuts on, having an awning like this is such an asset. When it's hot out and sunny, you can use it for shade. When it's rainy, you can use it to, you know, block the rain. I've even used it to get my my wife's grandma into our car during a pouring down rainstorm, because she, you know, bless her heart, is a little bit slower than she used to be, and so it took her a little longer to get in. If I didn't have this awning deployed, she would have gotten soaked getting up into our car. All right, so this thing weighs about 60 pounds, and you can see I'm not the biggest person, but I can still get it up here myself. So this is the strategy of how we're gonna get it up there. So the first thing you're doing is you're trying not to hit the car with the metal brackets, right? Kind of no-brainer. The second thing you're trying to do is you actually don't put it where it's gonna be. You lay it on top of the crossbars, because they'll just hold it there. When you lay it on top of the crossbars, you can then get the brackets on the back on first, get them tightened down to where it'll still slide, and then you just kind of move it down into place to where it'll finally be. All right, up we go. Bend it down into position. And you just want to get it to where you can balance it so that the metal doesn't hit the car. But like I said, I'm going to go beyond where it's supposed to be. I'm going to rest it just all the way up there. See? Now I don't have to hold it. Now we're going to climb Eli back up on the back so you can see, but I'm going to get the back bracket on first. So come on, Eli. All right. Now I can kind of just carefully shift it into place. We're going to take our first bracket piece, get it on. Like I said, decided to put those prongs towards the inside. One day I might cut them off, but haven't really decided if I need to yet.
You could use them for something else.
Maybe. So we're gonna screw these down, but not tight. This is just like a loose fastening here. One of the cool things is the way we notched it. This bracket actually, or this U-bolt can't come off. So that's pretty cool. All right. So now I'm gonna move over. You keep where you are. I'm gonna move up to the front. And I'm gonna do the same thing. Now, metal one. Okay. Got it over here in the middle. Get the bracket on. Get it started. And now we get to find out if I put the bracket, the new notches in the right spot. But watch this. Now that we have the back fastened, I can just slide it down into the appropriate position. Like that. And it's not falling off, right? Didn't that look easy, Eli?
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna slide the new one up. This is kind of a moment of truth here for me, but it's looking good. Now what I'm gonna do is probably get these tightened down just a little bit, and then I'm gonna get it pushed back towards the car just a smidge. Let's make sure this one's gonna go on as well. Yep. Right there. Now, one of the things I haven't really decided is how much danger we're in of these coming off. Like, you'd have to lose, you probably have to lose 3 of them for it to actually, or yeah, you'd have to lose 3 of them, no, 2 of them. No, you'd have, I don't know. How many of these things would have to come off before we're in trouble and danger of the awning falling off? I think it'd have to be a whole lot because it's held on both sides too. So just periodically check these, make sure they're fastened down, you know. I don't think it's worth Loctiting, I guess is my point. Because then you'd never get it off again.
Yeah.
All right, so the awning also came with guy lines, and this is the power cable for the light. It requires you to plug into your USB power in your car, though theoretically you could use a power pack as well. And we'll show this off later in the night. But one thing I wanted to note is that these guy lines also help it get pitched down to the right angle to not gather rain when it's raining. For my build, I've noticed that I need at least 1 guy line deployed to stop any kind of water from gathering on top of the awning. Now, I've packaged this and taken it in and out quite a few times. I'm pretty well practiced, and it's also packaged away to my preference. There are 2 very important cables, or straps. There's 2 very important straps. I'm not sure that bunker industry would recommend you keeping them attached to the awning, but I am like a really big efficiency person. So there's a gap in front of the awning hinge right here, and if you don't put something in it, it pushes in by the wind. And so I noticed that I could store the strap right there.
And it makes it look better too.
Yeah. You'll also notice that I took a bungee cord, a plastic bungee cord. I cut it in half, tied it in a knot. I made 2 hook and loop devices here. I'm looking for a better solution than this old ratty bungee cord that I made, but having a hook is more useful than the loop that it comes with. It comes with a loop. So you'll see that I have 2 of these going on, and this actually works pretty well for our purposes. But so the first thing you want to do is, like I did, unzip it. You're going to want to start, and this is another note, if you are driving a lifted Passport on a 4.5 inch HRG Beast kit, you have to be pretty tall to get up here. Eli, could you reach this? No, I don't even know if my wife can. When I'm about to flip this over, I actually get up on my tippy toes to start the action, but you want to invert it basically. You want to pull it and flip it, and that lets it cover this gap that I was talking about earlier. And this gap is where rain will get in if you don't do that. So you can see it's got 3 Velcro straps. Simply undo those, and you want to throw them on top. That way when you package it up next time, that it's easier to get to them. You want to undo them, throw them up top. The other strap, but come walk with me, or stand right there, kind of watch this thing unfold. Come over on this side actually so they can see where I hook this on. Right, and it hooks onto this crossbar. If your crossbar didn't stick out this far, you could hook it onto the rail. There's a lot of options. This strap is a quick release strap right here, and it's actually, you can see it's got a lot of length on it. I haven't gotten the guts to cut it and shrink it yet, but knowing me, eventually I'm probably going to cut it and shrink it just so it's not in the way. But so we got this side anchored. Let's go over and see how hard it is to anchor the front. Oh, the shade, Eli. Feels nice already, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the other half of that bungee cord. And this is the side that really the loop wouldn't really work too well for. So let's come take a look. Because this side, it's easiest to just anchor it on the wheel spoke itself, right there. So let's come over here and take a look at what we got going on. Now this awning is freestanding, as you can see, and it's definitely pretty strong. You know, it's gonna withstand some wind, but if it's windier conditions, you're gonna wanna use these guy lines to anchor it down. I personally am gonna buy probably at least 2 telescopic poles. If I think the weather is too extreme for even just the guy lines, I'm gonna do a telescopic pole and just push it right here. And then you can use the guy line and pull it down and add 2 legs. I do think it's cool that it comes without it because it lets the final closed package be smaller. But yeah, it's pretty sweet. Also, this is where you plug in the power for the lights. All the power is run internally to where you barely see the cables at all, which is really cool.
It's pretty crazy.
One small nitpick I would have is it'd be really good if this connector could be on this side closer to the car. Now I'm gonna figure out a way to route it and run it. I'm gonna customize it and make it work for my purpose a little better. But having it just right here, I mean, you're gonna basically fasten the plug, and pretty much you're probably going to find a way to route it on this beam anyways. Like, I don't know who would plug it in and not do that. So that connector. But yeah, like for me, I probably would just undo this Velcro, put it right there, right? And then run it into the car. We'll save this for later so we can come back out and get some footage with it.
Will the cord break if you put it if you close the door?
Nope, that's a good question. But no, you can and we maybe need one more Velcro strap right here, or I guess I could just drape it over like that and then in. That way it's kind of out of the way. And then you can see, yeah, so now it's out of the way. I don't have it plugged in yet, but now let me show you how the tailgate works, especially with a 2024 Honda Passport. I think this information would probably apply to, for sure, the 22, 23, 24, and 25. The newer ones might have an adjustable tailgate, but I still think this information is useful even if your tailgate's adjustable, because would you want to permanently adjust your tailgate to not open as high as I am tall? Probably not. So come take a look at this, Eli. The first thing to note is I would recommend putting a nice towel up here, a microfiber towel that's really soft, because you are gonna have the tailgate touching right here. So if you just use something really soft and nice, I actually keep this on here now. This is what happens if you just open it, letting the auto tailgate work. So you can kind of watch. It doesn't break anything, but it is a little bit not ideal. So let's take a look here. So it pushes up and it's enough resistance that it closes itself. So if you accidentally open it, you're not gonna break anything. It's just gonna push up and close. And at first I thought this wasn't gonna work very well, but all you have to do is hold for 2 seconds and it turns into a manual hatch and it opens nice and slow and just pushes up right there. Now I'm pretty tall, so I'm like just under 6 feet. And my head hits right here, but it's still a very usable height. I can easily get in and out, and it works well. We've already we've already opened this up during the rain to pack up before we went to the airport, and having this additional length here kept me from getting wet as I got in and out of the car, moved stuff from here to here. If you got a 180-degree awning, you'd be having a lot of rainfall right in this area. So I think the 270-degree awning's worth it, even with the hatch not opening up all the way. Now, different brands of awning have different styles of arms.
Yeah.
And this style right here is one of the more minimalist styles, and it actually does not interfere with the hatch nearly as much as some of the other brands that I've seen on the market. But yeah, I was really thankful that Bunker Industries sent me this awning to test with, because I proved that their awning, in my opinion, works pretty well with a Honda with a tailgate. So let's go ahead and show you how to close it up, and then we'll pull it back out later to show you what the lights look like. So the first thing to close it up, if you have the power cable on here, is just to unhook it. Okay, so let's come over to the front. Most people will unhook it right here at the quick disconnect, but I don't have a hard time just pulling down right here and just getting it off. And again, I'm packing it up with the cable already on it because to me, there's just no reason to take it off if I don't have to. So, and it makes it way easier to deploy and stow away again. So we'll come all the way around here to the other side. Hey, Eli. And do the same thing right here. And we'll let it shut. Now, I can't say that the way I fold it up is the best way, but it's the best way I've found so far. The first way I tried didn't really work very well, but the front half folds up before the back half. So you just kind of jam this up in here, nice and tight, and then you let this close. Almost every time you do this, this side kind of bunches up right here, so I just like to pull it down. Now what you have is two triangles. You have the front triangle with a lot of Velcro right here, and you got the back triangle. The Velcro, I guess, is more up in there. So what I've found is rolling this Velcro line tight and at a diagonal, ignoring the bottom triangle for now, works pretty well for me. You roll it up until you're to the base of this front arms. Come on this side, Eli. And you're gonna lift it up. You're gonna physically lift this up, push it in, and get this Velcro strap that we threw over earlier. Now, for this part of the awning, I just kind of bunch it up and we pull it through. Now you wanna lift this up because you want it pinned up high. That'll make it look way better in the bag later. So lift it up high, nice and tight, get that in. Now we're to the next piece of it. So you just, if you're keeping your strap on there, you just kind of stow it in right here. This one, instead of going diagonal, I just go straight up with it. Nice and tight, keep it nice and small. And I think we roll it just kind of up under, ignoring that one. Right here where we pre-stowed, you're just going to tuck it and push it up in there. And then grab this part. And you're basically trying to make this clump stay as uniform as possible. We're gonna go up, grab the second Velcro. And again, we're gonna lift it up and strap it. Now the back ends up having a lot less material. So you just kind of grab it, squeeze it in, put this in. Now you're gonna invert the bag again. You gotta kind of watch the ends. Sometimes they fight you a little bit, but once you get it in pretty good, you make sure that this side is pulled down all the way, just like that. Now, since I'm stowing my straps, I get this started so it forms a little pocket, and then I just kind of push this stuff up into the little pocket here. This has been working really well for me, so I'm gonna probably keep doing it. And you just start zippering it. Just run your hand ahead of the zipper, that way it doesn't get caught in. Like that. Boom.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy. All right, and so if you put the awning like this, it doesn't interfere with the rear spoiler. Aesthetically, I think the feng shui looks okay to the vehicle. And all in all, I think it's one heck of a mod. Yeah. And so far, my family's really been enjoying it, right, Eli? Mm-hmm. We can't wait to have more adventures with it. And I will keep you guys posted on how it works for us. But so far, we're very impressed with the product. The fit and finish look awesome. Yeah. We'll show you the lights here, and then we'll end the video. All right, let's rent out this awning video. As you can see, we've got it hooked up. We got the amber LED lights on and our new Lost Fit rock lights powered by our MIC tuning control panel and 6-switch gang switch. And all in all, it makes a really cool environment here underneath the Passport. Really looking forward to having some fun game nights out at camp underneath this shelter with the lights. I know the boys are gonna like it. You just touch it and it changes from, this is both amber and white, off, amber, and white. All in all, the awning seems like it's going to be a big hit. And I hope you guys check it out in our Amazon store in the description below. Well, here I am under the Bunker Industry awning, getting ready to load up Eleni and the kids' grandma, the boys' great grandma. Let me kind of show you how helpful this awning is. One note I will make is you do have to be careful that water doesn't pool on top of the awning. For this setup, with the ground the way it is, all it took was one guideline, because I did have some water pooling right about here. But this one guideline, just pulling down this one corner, allows it to drain off very well. And on this side of the car, we have almost total access and protection from the rain. And we are gonna carefully help Eleni's grandma get up on that box and into the car. I got the seats a little bit wet, but we're ready to load her up. And the back coverage definitely helps get into the rear hatch. You can see, get up here, you can see the rain pooling off the awning.